If I were going to troubleshoot an old system that has issues, first off, I'd try to find out what it's supposed to have done, what it should have done in the beginning, because if it's an older building, there's been many people playing with it. And what happens is when you do a startup on a new building, startup and commissioning makes it meet the design criteria. And you set the system up to meet the design criteria. Then if it doesn't function or if it doesn't satisfy the intent, you can make adjustments to it. But the first step is to get the design criteria, make it meet what it was supposed to do. And over the years, as loads change in the building, you change areas, you change people, things get tweaked, they get moved. And when you balance a building, you deliver X amount of GPM to each coil, X amount of CFM to each grill, and as that gets adjusted back and forth, if I open a valve on a coil to give somebody more cooling, I've robbed cooling from someplace else. So if you have an old system, probably the best thing to do, if you're new to it, is start recording some things and see what happens to it. It's called referred to as data-driven troubleshooting. So you put recorders on it. If you're doing air conditioning or something like that, you record it about every 5 minutes, see what the temperatures do, see what the water temperature, see what it's doing. Then you can put that on a graph and kind of analyze it and see when the ups and downs, what happens to it. And you have a much better premise for troubleshooting. Most of your control systems can do that. They can run trends on it. And if you are adding on to a building or modifying a system, I would prefer to go into that system and record it before we start to see what it does. And then when we get done or when the remodel is over with, you go back and record it again to ensure that you haven't taken away from the original building and you're still satisfying what the new building does. Because I don't care what you do to it, when you add on to or modify a system, it's not going to operate the way it used to. It's a different system now. And you have to learn to operate the new system.